July 23rd, 1995 in Montevideo saw hosts Uruguay take on reigning world champions Brazil for the Copa America final. Uruguay's team was led by the pillars of the 1980s, early 90s generation, which included players like goalkeeper Fernando Alves, defender Jose Herrera, as well as forwards Enzo Francescoli and Ruben Sosa, who unfortunately could not play this final due to injury. Brazil, as usual, had a vast talent pool of world-class players. For this match, half of their starting lineup played in the 1994 World Cup final, and the group was also joined by other notable talents such as Roberto Carlos, Juninho, and Edmundo. While Uruguay had many experienced players here, they were also under tremendous pressure to win the title. You see, Uruguay had never lost a match when hosting an international tournament, dating back all the way to 1917, with an all-time record of 33 wins and 5 draws. So there were 78 years of undefeated history on the line here. This was compounded by the fact that it was against Brazil, one of Uruguay's historic rivals. As the first half began, it quickly became apparent that Brazil would bet strongly on Roberto Carlos exploiting the wing, which immediately caused friction and several heated incidents between the future Real Madrid player and those who were marking him. La Celeste attempted to pressure Brazil from the start and even caused some scares early on. Francescoli at 33 was still a very dangerous player, having his first of many clashes with Brazilian captain Dunga. Brazil got their own early scare as Tulio got a free shot inside the box, but it was called offside. Uruguay's clearest chance in the first half saw Daniel Fonseca get a free header, which was caught by Taffarel. Finally, Brazil showed the quality that made them the best team in the world. La Canarinha was ecstatic as their on-form striker Tulio scored off a great play. Even worse for Uruguay, defender Tavares Silva of Defensor Sporting broke his leg in his attempt to stop the goal. Edgardo Adinolfi of River Plate Montevideo replaced him soon after. The second half began with La Celeste going all out. They subbed in iconic Boca Juniors striker Sergio Martinez and Peñarol midfielder Pablo Bengoechea, who had scored to win the 1987 Copa America in Buenos Aires. Suddenly, a chance opened up as Marcelo Otero was fouled outside the box, which he reacted with a fairly brutal kickout. Francescoli, who had not been successful in taking free kicks earlier, actually offered the shot to Pablo Bengoechea, who was known for his free kicks.
Toma carrera, atención, llegó, tiro al arco. ¡Gol!
Taffarel could do nothing but look on. Considering the weight of the occasion, it's one of the most perfectly executed free kicks I have seen in a major final. As the match progressed, both teams began to push forward to try to avoid penalties. Roberto Carlos kept being dangerous on the wing, and near the end of the match, Francescoli had a chance to win it all for Uruguay. Time soon ran out, and the tournament was going to be decided in a penalty shootout. Enzo Francescoli was the first to step up versus Brazil goalkeeper Claudio Taffarel. Now, Taffarel was considered to be a master at penalty shootouts, remarkably winning the World Cup a year prior, and would have other iconic shootout moments years later as well. So it felt like Uruguay had to have a string of perfect executions to beat Brazil. Enzo slotted in the first penalty, though Taffarel had guessed the right way. Next came Roberto Carlos, who blasted his shot to tie it at 1-1. Round 2 began with finals goal scorer Pablo Bengoechea, who scored his penalty, which again was correctly guessed by Taffarel. Next up came Brazil's Zinho, who also scored to keep the shootout tied at 2. Round 3 began with veteran defender Jose Herrera of Cagliari. He scored, but again, it was almost saved by Taffarel. 3-2. For Brazil came Tulio of Botafogo. Not only was he their on-form striker, but he also became famous in the tournament for scoring in the quarterfinal versus Argentina after handling the ball. This had been seen as the most controversial incident of the tournament so far.
Tulio. Bien, bien, bien.
It was saved by Peñarol's Fernando Alves, who was motioning for the crowd to keep their composure as the Estadio Centenario erupted. Round 4 began with Nacional midfielder Nelson Gutierrez ready to shoot. He scored to the relief of the stadium and his teammates. Captain Dunga was next. If he missed, Uruguay would be champions. Goal and a defiant celebration befitting of such a strong-willed captain. Finally, it came down to Sergio Martinez, the Boca Juniors star who ready to take the shot of his life.
¡Vive el país! ¡Va Sergio Martínez!
And with that, Martinez scored to win Uruguay's 14th Copa America versus the reigning world champions in front of an ecstatic Estadio Centenario, tying Argentina's all-time record. Francescoli lifted the trophy, the third of his career, and still holds the record for being the player who won the most Copa Americas since 1950. Thank you for watching.